We have strokes, then I did brain. Neuro honestly has a decent amount of auditory and ophthalmology things. Good morning, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is Shay Michelle, and I'm so happy that you are joining me today. I'm on my neurology rotation. I just realized that this is my first time vlogging for this rotation, but this is the second week. We're basically finishing the second week. This is going to be a weekend in the life. It's like a fancy weekend in life because today is 4th of July. So I didn't have to go into the hospital today. But I do have to go tomorrow. It's 4th of July and it's a Thursday. So we have Thursday off. Then we do have to come back tomorrow, Friday. And then luckily for this rotation, I get weekends off. So I won't be there. However, this will be my first test that I have to take after a rotation in a very long time. Generally, you have this for your core clerkships, and I finished those all the way back in December. From my school, we had an option of doing like electives or neurology, so I chose to do electives, but that doesn't mean I don't have to do neurology. So now I'm finally doing neurology, and this will be my last rotation in a while, but for this rotation, at the very end, so in 2 more weeks, it's only a 4-week rotation instead of the whole 6 weeks that core clerkships usually are, for us at least. But I have to take a shelf exam, and that's like a 300, don't quote me on that, but it's 3 hours long, 100 plus as, I think it's about 100 questions. This is so sad, I don't even remember. I have to take a shelf exam at the end, and I have to do an OSCE. And the OSCE is when you have the standardized patient and you have to you're seeing them in clinic, diagnose them. You have to tell them next steps, including medications or, you know, follow up and all of that. I have to do all of that again. And I haven't done that since December, but I think I'll be okay, hopefully. It's Thursday, 4th of July. I'm not doing anything. It's about noon right now, so I don't even remember if I said good morning, but really good afternoon, and welcome back to my channel. I have spent the morning just making breakfast, cleaning my apartment up. I feel like because I knew I had today off, I just let everything get out of hand. So this morning I like tidied up a little bit, and then now it's time to study. I try to do 25 UWorld questions a day. The neurology section is one of the shorter ones, so there's only about 300. So doing 25 questions every single day gets you done very quickly before the 4 weeks is up. So my goal is to do those. I'm gonna do some questions. I wanna do my Anki. I'm back doing Anki. And then I have a random little task I need to do, more emails I've been ignoring, sadly. And then I am going to go from there. Let's get started with our Anki, or our UWorld. And then, oh, I've actually been making notes. So today, I wanted to tidy up the notes I've been making for neurology, so I'll make sure to show you guys those. Luckily, because of like step 2 and like preclinical phase, I already have a ton of neurology notes that are just kind of dispersed different places. So I basically kind of pieced them all together, or pieced at least the pieces I thought were relevant together. And then I've been adding stuff as need be. That is the bulk of what I am going to do today. I'm gonna start off with finishing this UWorld. I started yesterday, but I think I only did 5 questions. But we're gonna finish our UWorld, do some Anki, and then we're gonna get started on the notes. It's been a very long while, but I'm officially bringing this book out. It's been years, but I will say, even at this phase of med school, I think the literal most helpful book that I've ever read or used is this first aid book, because it lays the foundation of every single thing you need to know. Even in the clinical setting, of course we learn new things, but a lot of the basics are all in this book. And so it's so nice to be able to just see everything in one place. And I have literally bought every book imaginable, between like step 2 books, step up to medicine. I have bought almost every book, and I can say that this first aid book, although it looks like a toddler tore it up, this has been my most valuable book. I'm bringing out this book because I thought I was gonna look at something for myotonic dystrophy. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to, but I'm just gonna leave the book out because this weekend I am pretty adamant about going over everything again. I might as well just leave these extra pages that are torn off away. I'm reviewing my test right now. I actually ended up I finished a set of 25 and then I did an extra 20 because I felt bad for not finishing the 25 from yesterday. So I'm just gonna finish reviewing this, hopefully do my Anki, and then start catching up on all the other stuff I need to do. It's 7:30 and I finished all my studying for today. I've honestly been using my neck massager that I got from TikTok. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but highly recommend. I'm done for the day. I'm done specifically with you wrote an Anki for the day. I do have like random things I need to do, like my recertification so that I can actually be in the hospital and have a bed. My senior yesterday said that he wanted to observe us during doing neuro exams tomorrow, so I am going to review all of the criteria for a neuro exam so that hopefully he can say I did well, and then we can go from there. I'm excited for tomorrow. I'll take you guys to the hospital, and then I know I didn't show you my notes, but I'm definitely going to show you my notes either tomorrow or Saturday because I just haven't even opened them today. See you guys tomorrow, and so sorry I was talking so fast. Good morning and happy Friday, you guys. It's 6:30 right now, well 6:29, so I have another minute before I need to head out. I usually head out around 6:30 for this rotation. I've been trying to make it so that the only thing I have to do in the mornings, I'll stay where the lighting is. The only thing I have to do in the mornings is fill my water bottle, and I usually grab a protein bar and then I head out. I can get breakfast at the hospital if I wanted to. We get a little bit of money every day from the hospital to like buy food, or I can wait till lunch. I haven't been waking up early enough to make breakfast, so that's why I just get a protein bar, and that'll usually last me through rounds. Honestly, rounds are pretty long. Rounds usually go until lunch. They're like 9 to noon, 9:30ish to noon. There's always interruptions because I'm on the stroke team. Anytime there's a new consult, there is a designated person who I believe is a second-year resident, neurology resident, that goes, sees the stroke, and then gives a full report on what's going on. Obviously, if it's something that requires more immediate care and more urgent care, then more of the team will go and assist. But generally, luckily, since I've been on, it's mostly been cases that don't require very immediate care. It will require stroke workup, but not necessarily something in that very moment. It's time to head out. And I have a lot to say about how today went. I am going to drive back to my apartment. It's Friday, and then I'm going to explain everything that happened today. I just made plans to go to dinner with one of my friends. I actually ended up, she texted me, and then funny enough, we ran into each other in the cafeteria today. I'm going to head home, and then I'll fill you guys in. I'm back in my apartment. The glare on my glasses is so intense. It's 4 o'clock. I've been doing a few mindless things, but let's talk about today. I am on the stroke team, and with that, we care for patients who have previously had or have had a stroke. Sometimes they're in the acute setting in which they come to the emergency room and we're able to intervene. Sometimes it's been days before, weeks before, or one patient we looked at their brain and they already had liquefactive necrosis, which means they had a stroke, you know, months to years prior, and then came in for another issue and were found to have this. Kind of a wide range of pathologies, but we had about, let's go with 8 or so people on our list today. It's been decreasing, but honestly, I would say 75% of them are planning to be discharged, or they're planning to transfer to a different ward or team or something like that in the hospital. We were kind of going over today with my senior different things we'll see. So we went over CT scans and MRIs, but let's go through the day. So I came in, I pre-rounded on my patients, we did our presentations. By the time rounds are done, it's usually lunchtime. Today was the first day all week we did rounds as a team, walking. So we went and saw like 2 patients or maybe 3. One patient that was a consult for a stroke that had just came in, I think today, this morning, and it was lunchtime by that point. After that, our senior did teaching rounds. So as a medical student, a lot of times they'll try to do teachings, and whether it's the senior, the attending, the fellow, just someone will try to do a little bit of teaching. Usually like our attending will do like a 10, 15, 20 minute teaching on something during rounds. But today our senior said, I'm gonna teach you guys something. So we sat and we went through reading CTs and MRIs of the brain or the head. We went through a lot of anatomy. I really need to brush up on my anatomy. So we were going from like basically all the branches of the aorta to the subclavian to, more importantly, the carotids, to then the internal let me make sure I'm saying this, but the internal and external carotids, basically all the branch points that pertain to the brain, which is like the ICA or internal carotid, to go to the big points of the MCA, the middle cerebral, ACA, all of that. We went over all of that and just identifying strokes, whether it's thrombotic, ischemic, embolic, how they look on different scans. And I am definitely not the best when it comes to scans specifically on the brain. There's a ton of different ones, but depending on the lighting and the like shading, like some things will look hypodense rather than hyperdense. There's a lot of different things. I might put some pictures up of options of like different scans, and I'm planning on getting dinner with one of my friends at 7:30. So I'm trying to think what I'm going to do before that. I think today we're going to make a chill day. Tomorrow's going to be better. Tomorrow I'm really going to pay attention to my notes and things because I'll have time to like gather myself. I'm going to relax. I'll probably watch Love Island. A new episode came on. Good morning, you guys, and happy Saturday. It is noon right now, so maybe not good morning, more like good afternoon. We're off to a slow start because I had to watch one of the new episodes of Love Island because that was just a required thing this morning. I just got dressed and the plan is to go to a cafe. Basically right now, I'm actually just gonna pack my bag and then head over. When it comes to work, my goal is, I haven't gone over the 25 U World I did yesterday. So I think number one, I wanna go over those 25 U World. Number two, I wanna review all of my notes. Number three, I want to read the neurology and psychiatry or psychology section in the step 1 book. And then honestly, if I finish all that in the next 4 hours, I'll be pretty happy. And then the last task, if I have time for it, is to do another 25 U World questions, and then we'll go from there. I have only 100 or so U World questions left, and I still have 2 more weeks of this block or rotation, so I'm not like in a rush to finish all my U World. I think tomorrow I might not do any U World and actually do a practice neurology shelf exam, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, that's the plan for today. Last night my friend actually invited me to go to this like hangout today with some other people in our class. Her goal was to be done at like 4 o'clock. Hopefully I also choose to be done at 4 o'clock, and then we can go from there. I'm gonna pack my bag and then let's head out. Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely. It is 6:30 and I actually ended up reading my first aid book. So I didn't initially expect to, but then I was kind of lounging around and said, why not? This is just a glimpse because I have so many notes everywhere on this step 1 book. But like, here's one page, this was on movement disorders. And then here was another page on neurodegenerative disorders. So I just have a ton of notes that are written down still. It's been helpful because, mind you, I like wrote down different ways to remember things and stuff like that. I am a big proponent of writing in your textbooks. It's 6:36 right now, and I'm actually probably gonna try to do my Anki a little bit, and I keep delaying this, but notes are gonna be for tomorrow, I think. Notes and then a practice test. Let's start this Anki, and then hopefully I can like chill from there. Good morning and happy Sunday, you guys. This is like the perfect Sunday. It's nice and sunny and warm. I'm sitting on my couch. I've been watching way too much TV, as I've been doing in general lately. It's time to do a practice test. I already have it uploaded to my iPad. I generally don't do these practice tests like timed or anything because I try to use the more understanding, because NBME style questions or board style questions are much different than like U World, and 50 questions long, and I'm gonna do it. Hopefully I do well. After I finish this little practice test, I'll come back, tell you guys how I did, depending on if I did well or not, and then we'll go from there. But other than this, my general plan is Anki. For school, we get like wellness days, and I have that Tuesday afternoon, and we have didactics Wednesday afternoon, and didactics are just teachings we do via Zoom. I'll be having at least 2 afternoons off, not off, but 1 afternoon for sure off on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I'll have didactics, but at least I'll be in my own like apartment, so I can kind of like wind down a lot earlier in the day than normal. Let's do this practice test. It is 8:30 right now, and I I finished everything. It took a while for me to do the questions and everything because 50 questions, especially MB Star, are actually a lot. I finished my questions. I did my Anki, which is my flashcards. I only had about a little bit over 100 to do. And then I went through my notes. Come to find out, half of my notes were rewrites, but we're just gonna go over these. We're gonna start off, of course, we have to show that it is neurology. And so you're also gonna be able to tell which of my notes I just wrote today or within the last few weeks compared to notes that are from like step 1 and step 2, because it just looks way neater if I wrote them recently. A big thing for me was just organization. So like I have like my random information here, which isn't random, I just didn't know how to group it well. Then we start off with strokes, and so I have some diagrams I was able to get from UWorld. If you can tell, this upper half I just wrote compared to this second half is obviously a little bit more hectic. We have strokes, then I did brain, and so I have like, I guess this area could have been with strokes, but some lesions, some diagrams, pictures. All of my diagrams for the most part I either get from UWorld when I get the question wrong or they give the explanation, or it's from the first aid book. I have an online copy so I can just like screenshot and cut and everything from there. So we have, then I went from brain, then I did body / spinal cord. As you see, there's not much in this section. Then we have some MSK or like musculoskeletal system. And then back pain. This is something I had for step 2. I did a lot of diagrams like this. So I highly recommend diagrams, to be honest. I'm a visual learner, so it kind of helps me. Then I have some psych stuff, pediatrics, tumors, ophthalmology, some eye things. Neuro honestly has a decent amount of like auditory and ophthalmology things. I do have a page for that, but I was just happy because this was 20 pages before I went through my notes, and now it is 10. So less for me to study. But that is like the gist of what I've been doing. It's Sunday, so I always try to relax a little bit more. But other than that, I think that is all for today. It's 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I am just probably gonna chill for the rest of the day. My apartment is looking hectic. We can already see a mess forming, so I'm gonna clean up a little bit and then go from there. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching this video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one.